doing well. Welcome back to a little agency therapy. We're jamming today. The messaging that we're seeing on social media nowadays, it's all very lead generation focused. Do you feel like we're going to see kind of the shift or swing back the other direction?
No.
Free resources, lead magnets. The list is endless. Oh, it did flip. It'd be helpful if I wasn't muted, right? Right? Let's go. All right. Sound? Question mark? Felix, we're back in it, baby. Don't you worry. You guys, we're back in action. Can you believe it? Back in action. Happy 2024. We did a live stream last week, but this feels like the real first week. Back into the flow, back into the swing of things. So let me know if you guys are here. Make some noise in the chat. Want to know who's watching, who's here. If you're new, I want to know about it. Love to know who's around. Dude, the trip was great. Yeah, went all over the place, man. So we went to Zurich, Switzerland, flew in there. From there, we went over to Lucerne and Engelberg. So we did a couple days in Switzerland. From there, we went straight over to Basel, and we got on a riverboat cruise, and we just went down, went up the Rhine River, went through Germany, France, stopped at a bunch of cities throughout there, and then ended up in the Netherlands in Amsterdam. And we ended our trip there, and then we flew back home, and then we went immediately the week after to Las Vegas, where we did the Traffic and Conversion Summit. And then after the Traffic and Conversion Summit, we came back to Nashville, flew immediately back out to Atlanta for Agency Founders. So it was back to back, man. It was like 30 days of like just traveling. So I'm glad it's done. It was fun. We had a blast, but I'm glad it's over because we traveled way too much in that stint. It was like, it was a lot. It was a lot, and it wasn't very productive either. Like, obviously vacation is vacation, but then, you know, when you're traveling for events and stuff and you're connecting with people and all that good stuff, it's really hard to be productive during those times. Like, it's hard to do deep work. You don't have your normal setup. Like, I'm a homebody in and out, and I enjoy just being here in my dojo, in my little circle, you know. Rest in peace introverting for sure, dude. Like, my extrovert juice was completely wiped out, which there's very little to begin with. I'm pretty introverted as it is. So excited to be back in action, excited to be back with agency therapy. We are on the regular cadence now. We started at 6 o'clock today. I think on accident I posted that we're going to start at 5. My bad. We're starting right now. Okay. So hopefully you guys weren't waiting around too long to jump on the stream, but appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys coming in, saying what's up. As we're going through, feel free to ask questions. We can answer some Q&A at the end if you guys have questions. We got some segments to run through today. We got some fun stuff. We got some tactical stuff. We'll watch some guru videos as well. Do a little reacts in there. So you guys ready to jump in? Let's freaking do it. Let's do it, baby. So let me pull up the Agency Therapy stream board and we can get started. I'm going to take off the overlay here for the chat. So we got some good stuff popping in the Agency Therapy stream board today. Hopefully you guys can see everything that's happening inside of here. I just want to make sure that the sound is working as well with the share screen. Give me 2 seconds. Also share tab audio. Because every time we start a stream, I always feel as if I do something wrong with either my audio or the playback audio. It can get annoying live streaming sometimes. But I think we got it figured out. Hopefully I sound okay on your guys', and I'll double check just in case. Right, audio is connected. Boom. All right, cool. All right, team. Let's jump in. We got a lot to cover today. You guys saw the thumbnail. Hopefully you guys got some giggles from the thumbnail. We're not here to roast Russell Brunson. Love Russell Brunson, man. We're just here to talk about it and just kind of understand what was going on there and everything. We got a little Agency Alchemy a little bit later in the stream, so make sure you guys stay around for that. If you're here for like the tactical side, that's going to be towards the half end of the stream. We'll run the Guru Gauntlet. We got 2 new gurus that we'll be watching today. We'll see if they got the chops. We'll give a little feedback on those videos. But starting things off, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a little Marketing Mayhem. And if you don't know how Marketing Mayhem normally goes, Marketing Mayhem is split into 2 specific scenarios. We run something called the drama segment and then the victory lap segment. And if you guys are unfamiliar with this, then you're about to get real familiar real fast with it. And in our drama segment today, we got Mr. Russell Brunson. If you guys have not been paying attention to really any news in the digital marketing community, Russell Brunson's been under a little bit of fire. And if you guys are completely unfamiliar with Russell Brunson, he is the owner of Clickfunnels and the founder of Clickfunnels. And if you're unfamiliar with Clickfunnels, then you're probably not too familiar with the marketing community. But essentially just a funnel builder, landing page builder, really easy to use. It was one of the first ones on the map when it came to funnel building. And so they blew up. They're a pretty large company now. But recently, these headlines started popping up, and we'll show the video here in just a second, but this is one that kind of popped up to me. Idaho dad barred from coaching after punching his son's Oregon opponent during wrestling match. So Mr. Russell under a little bit of fire here. And if you guys, once again, aren't familiar with ClickFunnels, estimated revenue valuation, estimated annual revenue is around $102 million per year. I don't know if that's actually accurate. I feel like these estimated revenue numbers are never what they actually should be. I'm sure he's either north or south of this. But anyway, estimated revenue per employee is about $184,000 revenue per head. ClickFunnels total funding for their launch was actually $1 million. So whoever funded this, whoever helped them launch this is probably doing all right. And average ClickFunnels user pays about $1,164 a year. About 557 employees inside of ClickFunnels, and then they grew their employee count by about 1% last year. So I don't know when this data came from. It's probably like 2020 or something. But roughly those numbers. That's what they're doing. Pretty large company doing some big stuff in the space. But want to specifically read through some of this article here and give you guys a little bit of the scoop, and then we'll go and actually watch the video itself. So this was a news article that I pulled up. A Rocky Mountain High coach received a lifetime ban from coaching Idaho high school sports after striking a wrestler from an opposing school last weekend. A video incident shared with the Idaho Statesman shows Russell Brunson entering the ring and hitting a freshman from Nisa, Oregon. Someone's got to correct me if I'm wrong there. At least 3 times match against Brunson's son at the Skyview Duels on Saturday in Nampa. This is about 2 weeks ago now. Officials had stopped match to clear the Rocky Mountain assistant coach from the match. He was not ejected from the tournament. West Ada spokesman Nikki Shepers told the Statesman resigned from his volunteer coach coaching position. So he was a volunteer coach for the wrestling team. And the board of control then banned Brunson from coaching any high school or IHSAA sport or activity for life on Tuesday. And also him from attending any IHSAA sporting event for the rest of the school year and for the rest of 24 and 25. And if you don't know, so Runson's son was the wrestler that this was going out about. He apparently got choked out in or was out in a specific way, and Brunson kind of leaped into action. I'll show you the video here in a second. But Brunson explained later, and I have the letter pulled up, that Monday to the school district board that he thought his son was put into a legal chokehold and feared he was about to pass out. The board serves as a local arm of the Idaho High School Activities Association, the state governing body. So we'll go through that in just a second. But let's look at the video for a second and let me know what you guys think about this. Of course, Conan's chiming in. Man said, man said wrong on every data. Well, I'll just report the news, man. I was curious about it. So here's the top-down view, and this is the one that kind of went viral on socials. His son is the one in the black, is it a jumpsuit? Is that what you call it? Is it a jumpsuit? And then the opponent, obviously, on top here comes the choke. Russell Brunson pointing out that that's happening, uh, and then kind of gives him a good little slap on the back of the head there. It looks like very interesting angle. And I think there's another angle that we can take a look at as well that shows something a little bit different. But that is the original view, not the best look for Mr. Brunson. Now, Brunson did write a letter to the board of control on January 22nd. So about a week and a half ago. So let's read this letter real quick. Russell Brunson, Monday, January 22nd. I wanted to send you a letter for your meeting tomorrow. Apologize for the incident that happened at the Skyview Duels this weekend. I would also like to quickly explain the situation from my side so you can take that into consideration as you make your decision about me today. I want to start by saying that I know what I did was not okay. It was not something that was premeditated. It was something that just happened. I'm a coach, but the kid wrestling was my son. The other wrestler put an illegal choke, and I watched as my son's face was turning red and his eyes were bulging out of his face. My initial reaction, as you'll see from the video, was correct. I yelled that he was getting choked and tried to show the ref, but in the last 2 seconds, I was wrong. I don't know what happened. I was scared, and my instinct was to push the other kid off him so the choking would stop and he could breathe. If I could go back and replay those two, I would, but unfortunately, it's too late. I've seen a few videos floating around all up top in the stands. I wanted to show you the video from phone so you can see the angle and my point of view during the incident. You can see the video at my angle at rollinson.com, the video. And of course, he puts a little QR code here. Can I click on this? I don't think I can. I should have put that in here. Here, let me pull it up real quick over here. The Russell, or what is it? Russell Brunson. RussellBrunson.com /the video. RussellBrunson.com /the video. And then I'll reshare. I'll reshare to the screen. I don't even know if it's going to pull up. I don't just redirect it back to. Okay, here we go. I got it. Let me share this one now. I got it. Conan. All right, so I don't know who Marley is, but she says that it shares a different story than the one in the article. The narrative isn't gaining traction as rapidly as the more sensational yet misleading one. So this is the other angle here. Obviously got some good shares, comments, and likes on this, so some decent engagement. So he's yelling at choking him. Okay, so as you can see that. Okay, so let's go to like the very end of the video where it looks like from that top view, it looks like Russell like kind of like really hit him, but from this view, it doesn't look as intense, to be honest. So he's tapping him on the back. And it looks like he just tapped him once. And as you can see, the arm is around the neck there, which I don't know anything about wrestling. So if you guys know anything about wrestling, I don't know if that's even legal or not. I doubt it is, from at least that point of view. But even in slow motion, like, it's not a very long time to be in that position. Like if you guys ever watch like a UFC match, I'm sure you've seen like how long it takes a second to choke someone out. So that's the other angle. I think it looks a little less intense than the top-down angle. The top-down angle, obviously in real time. I don't know, like this is in slow motion as well. I'd be curious to see it in like real time versus slow motion. But anyway, those are the two sides. Let's pull up the stream board one more time here. What do you think, Conan? I mean, I know what you think, but curious to know from you. So you guys can make your decision there. Like, hey, was this a little bit more intentional? But there is more to this letter. He added some screenshots to show that the choke, that he was watching just 2 feet away. As I'm sure you know, this is called a bully choke and is legal in the UFC, but in wrestling, it's very illegal. You can't have the head without the arm, which is interesting. After he locked his neck, as you can see in the video, he put pressure down on the back of his head to tighten the illegal lock. I was sitting to the right of the referee, and as the kid on top applied pressure, Bowen looked right at me, and I could see he was about to pass out. As a coach, the normal reaction would be to yell and to point out to the ref, but my reaction as a dad took it one step too far. What would you do if you're getting choked out just 2 feet in front of your face? If I had more time, probably could have made a better decision, but it all happened. I panicked, and it was over in less than 3 seconds. I realized the impact this had on the school, our wrestling team, athletes, and our coaches. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I talked to our coach and our AD today, and I've stepped down from coaching and resigned my position. This was heartbreaking, as I haven't missed practice or a match for my kids in the last 7 years that they have been competing. This is my son's senior year, and I only have 4 weeks left. There's one more page. Sorry, I keep moving it. Please don't take away my ability to watch my son the last few matches of his senior year. I made a mistake in a split second that I will regret for the rest of my life. I'm trying to figure out how to get in contact with the family of the wrestler to see if I can somehow make it up to them as well. Thank you for your consideration, Russell Brunson. So, with all that being said, one, I think for the most part, everyone's just a little bit soft, here. It didn't look that bad. Should you touch a student athlete? Probably not, right? Probably not, especially if it's not your kid. But I will say, people like to be polarizing, and people like to make bigger incidences out of things. And here's the thing: I remember being a high school athlete, and I remember my mom. When I played basketball, I'm a smaller dude, right? I'm 5'6". I was probably 5'4", 5'5" in high school. Relatively short, maybe grew an extra inch out of high school, but relatively short dude, relatively small my whole life. And I remember just getting bullied in basketball and stuff. And my mom screaming from the top of the stands of like when I would get fouled hard or something. And so I understand like coming to the defense of your kids. And I don't have kids or anything, so I can't say that I would feel the same way, but for you guys to kind of decide. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's a big deal, to be honest. I'm Team Brunson. So, but that's just my opinion. But that's our drama for this week, you guys. I just want to cover this story. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to see both sides with what route out here, and then also seeing, okay, like why was this controversial? Why did this kind of take off? And unfortunately, being in the marketing industry, it's going to get a little bit more virality as well. So that's our drama for the week. That's our loss for the week for Mr. Russell Brunson. Man, I'm sorry that you're going through that. But keep ClickFunnels rolling, man. It seems to be doing pretty well. Pretty well. All right, you guys, let's go to our victory. Let's stop talking about them. Let's go to our victory lap for the week. Are you guys ready for it? Let me look at the comments real quick. This would be expected from someone like Conor McGregor. For sure, dude. In American wrestling, there is no choking. You pin people down on the mat to get points or win. Definitely no choking. Okay, fair. So no choking. Online marketers do shady things all the time. This ain't much. Dude, facts, right? Like there's a lot worse things to be going after people with. So yeah, I agree, man. I agree. All right, let's get into our victory lap segment. Let's keep things plugging away. Our victory lap segment today focuses on a student athlete. And I wouldn't cover this, but like literally, I can't get this person off my Instagram feed. I don't even follow her, but I keep seeing things from her. I keep seeing her on ESPN. She's continues to go viral in the college sports world. Miss Caitlin Clark. And if you guys don't know Miss Caitlin Clark, she is from little city called West Des Moines. Was it Idaho? Iowa? One of those. Someone tell me, is this Idaho or Iowa? It's Iowa. I can't remember, but pretty close to Chicago there. Omaha, Nebraska. This is Idaho. Iowa. I don't even know. Iowa, I think. I don't know. All right. So anyway, oh yeah, she's from Iowa because she plays for Iowa. That's right. Okay. So Caitlin Clark plays for Iowa, the Hawkeyes. There we go. The Hawkeyes has been a sensational athlete for Iowa for the last 4 years. She's actually a senior this year, absolutely crushing it. And I'm really excited to kind of show you some of the influencer marketing side of her journey. But I wanted to open up her wiki real quick and just show you some of the accolades and things that she's accomplished in the short period of her career. It's actually kind of wild to see how successful she's been with this so far. So I'm going to pull up her Wikipedia page and we're going to go through some of these accolades because they're pretty absurd. So this is the part that I want to kind of point out here. This kind of like underlines a lot of her accolades since high school. She's relatively young. She's a senior in college, so she's 22 years old currently. But if we look at some of her accolades over here on the right-hand side, AP Player of the Year 2023, Honda Sports Award, John R. Wooden Award. This is one that is pretty notorious in the college sport community, especially in basketball. But most outstanding men's and women's college basketball player consists of like a Player of the Year award. So pretty cool to get that one. She's won a ton of awards throughout her career so far. Some ones that really stand out to me. These like Big Ten Player of the Year, Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Big Ten Tournament, NCAA Scoring Season Leader 2021, 2022, NCAA Season Assist Leader, McDonald's All-American, and then some gold medals as well for FIBA Under 19 World Cup, and then FIBA America's Under 16. So 3 gold medals already in her career, scoring just an absurd amount of points. As a senior, Clark averaged 33.4 points, which is crazy in high school. Like that's a crazy amount of points, especially for a high school student, right? Recruited by the NCAA, of course, went to Iowa. And has been absolutely crushing it in her stint with Iowa. And I think there is, right here. So far, this has been her stats, her career stats so far. She's currently in the 2023-2024 season, so those stats aren't up here yet, but you can see pretty consistent. Played every single games played so far, every single one. In last year, they made a nice little run in the playoff, but really good field goal, good 3-point shoot, averaging 26 to 27 points per game every single season, especially playing against a little bit better competition, averaging 7 to 9 assists. So crushing it in the basketball world as far as that is concerned. What shirt? He said, bro, her shirt. What shirt? What shirt are you talking about? So anyway, why are we talking about women's basketball, right? Why are we talking about this? Well, in 2021, groundbreaking decision allowed athletes like Caitlin to benefit from name, image, and likeness. So if you guys aren't familiar with this, they call this the NIL, okay? Name, image, and likeness. And essentially changed the policy and has revolutionized college sports over the last few years, giving players control over their brand and financial future. So these college athletes can now start making money off of their name, image, and likeness, which is a huge benefit. And to kind of give you guys an idea, I took a little screenshot of the top 5 NIL athletes currently. So these are college athletes that can make money from their image and likeness. People like Bronny James, so LeBron James' son. Bronny James valued at his NIL contracts valued at $5.8 million. Shadur, I always butcher his name. Sanders plays for Colorado University, is the quarterback there, son of what's the other Sanders? I keep wanting to say Barry Sanders. Colorado coach, whatever his name is. $4.7 million in NIL valuation. And people like, I don't know. Okay, I looked up this Livy Dune. She's pretty attractive. 3.5 million. It makes sense why she might be third. Arch Manning as well, 2.8 million, and then Travis Hunter also plays for Colorado, 2.3 million. But down here at 37, we have Caitlin Clark, a very modest 800,000 in NIL valuation so far, which is absolutely absurd. She's landed some top deals with Gatorade, Nike, Buick, State Farm, H&R Block, Goldman Sachs, tops of the trading card company. So has been making it out pretty good. And if you guys kind of watch how the basketball world has shifted, people are now staying in college because the NIL deals that they're getting are paying more than their rookie contracts inside of like the NBA or inside of the NFL. So they're making more off of their image and likeness than they are going to play professionally. Hence why a lot of these athletes are staying in college a little bit longer, like Caitlin Clark, who probably could have gone to the NBA last year, maybe 2 years ago, because her rookie contract wouldn't pay her this. And she has these NIL deals. Now, do these deals transfer over into pro? I'm sure they do. But with that being said, absolutely crushing it on these NIL deals and has been kind of electric over the last few years. And if you pay attention to the way that they're doing these influencer deals, basically just posts on social media. Hence why, with these NILs, they really keep track of like, hey, what are their followings look like? So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, what's their influence on the game? And she's been one of these standouts over the past couple of years because she's been electric on the court specifically and has been making a lot of noise. And the fandom around her as an athlete is pretty crazy because she does have a spectacular talent inside of the college sport arena. So something to keep an eye on over the next couple of years is going to be these NIL deals with college athletes. I'm very curious how this is going to evolve into more of the brand space. I'm curious to see how some of these like e-commerce brands can start scooping some of these athletes and seeing how influencer deals pan out. More and more we're seeing even on our side, agencies that are doing influencer and affiliate type campaigns, and it's going to start moving over into these athletes because these athletes reach such a young audience, especially on Instagram and TikTok. They reach such a young audience, and they're very influential. So I think we're going to see more and more advertisements and ability to do affiliate and influencer marketing through some of these top athletes. So I'm excited to kind of see it evolve over the next few years. I'm curious to see some of the first e-commerce brands, because like that was my background, was specifically working with e-commerce brands in our agency. So curious to see how it works out. Caitlin Clark crushing it with the NIL deals, making some cash, 22 years old. NIL deals, $818K. Pretty absurd. So our dub goes out to Caitlin Clark this week. Absolutely crushing it. She gets to take our victory lap. And that is it for Marketing Mayhem. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of the drama, a little bit of the wins for the week. Let's move on forward. What are you guys feeling? Adam, what do you say? You said done. Done what? Done what? What are you saying? Oh, I forgot to stop share screening. My bad. That was fun, bro. Thanks, man. I've been trying to put together like these fun like news story segments or whatever, just from random stuff that I'm seeing online that are kind of like hot news, right? So hopefully you guys enjoy those segments. Let's open back up the agency therapy stream board and let's jump into a little something that we call the Guru Gauntlet. Little Ty Lopez for you. Okay, we got two gurus today. Okay, we got Mr. Levi Matthew, one of those, and then Barnes. Okay, very traditional American white boy name. But Levi here, going to show us 0 to 10K per month. I tried SMMA for 1 year as a teenager. Honest review. And then Tom Barnes, day in the life of SMMA owner making 70K per month. So let's see a little bit of the inside of what's going on with these guys. And let's see if we can't get some good gurus in here. Because honestly, the last few times we did this, I've been relatively surprised. Yeah, Felix, the board is back. Can you see it? I can see it on my screen. Can you see it? Feeling ready for the next segment. Were you not feeling the other one, Felix? I know I guess basketball's pretty popular in Europe though, isn't it? I think you're from Europe. Let me know if you can see that. But we're gonna jump into it. All right, Levi, let's see what you got, dude. Oh, hold on. Gotta make sure we can hear the noise. Where's the mute button?
Honest perspective of my first year doing SMMA, as someone who doesn't really have shit to tell you, and as someone who documented the whole process. And then also at the end of the video, I went ahead and included the biggest lesson that allowed us to scale from 0 to essentially 13K in 3 months after 12 months of failure. So I'll go ahead and stick to the end for that, and let's just get right into the video.
I mean, at least he's transparent, right?
15 months ago, I watched Iman Gaji's Best Business Models of 2023 video, and after watching that, I decided that I was going to dedicate all my free time into starting a social media management agency, or SMMA.
Social media marketing agency.
So that I didn't have to graduate college and go the whole 9-to-5 route. And when I started, I had no idea what an agency even was, or how to do Facebook ads, or even if making money online was actually a real thing. But we started off anyways, and it's paying off now. Let's pop up.
Oh, dude, 13K a month.
So like I said, started off 18-year-old. July, watched all the same videos you guys did. I watched Iman, I watched Hen's Advice, I watched Montel Gordon, and took notes on a bunch of BS words that I had no idea. Like I didn't know what a media buyer was, Facebook ads, anything like that. And I just tried to write it all down and absorb as much as I could. But that only lasted for a week or so before I started to like actually put the work in. So I decided to follow Montel Gordon's hybrid method, where I did outreach on Upwork and essentially got management clients from there that I could use that money and skills to go into actual SMMA.
There we go.
After about 6 weeks of that, I got my first client at $1,400 per month. After that, for the next few,
honestly, not a bad first client, $1,400 per month. Like normally what we see on like first clients is like right around that $500 per month. So good on him, man. Like landing $1,400 on your first deal. That's no joke.
few months, our agency really started to struggle because we had tried to do an e-commerce agency.
Oof.
And then
so if you guys are getting into the agency space, e-commerce is going to be one of the hardest lanes to win in, especially at low ticket, because you're going to run into quite a few barriers on the e-commerce side when it comes to scaling an e-commerce business. One, if you're charging only $14 for your service, chances are that brand is not going to be a very large brand. If they're kind of shopping on Upwork, it's not going to be a very large brand, which also means that they're not going to have the infrastructure probably to scale. You're probably either working with some sort of like drop shipping business that is testing product or is trying to find a winning product still. E-commerce is a really hard, really high barrier to entry agency to start up on. It takes a lot of marketing chops as well. Of like, you can't just come in and run some Facebook ads. There's a lot of strategy involved in it, and you really have to understand the principles of marketing to run a successful e-commerce agency. Now, on the other half, like, hence why, and I'm not saying that it's not difficult running an agency in general. It is hard to run an agency in general, but a majority of the reason that people start in like more the lead gen type route is because it's very repeatable. And the reason that people pick a specific niche in the lead gen side is because they can find a winning ad creative, and then they can run it across all their accounts, right? And every once in a while, they're gonna have to change copy and creative and things like that. But for the most part, you could take a winning model from someone else and apply it directly to a similar industry or a similar vertical. Whereas in an e-commerce, there's so many different personas that you have to play to. If you're working with a health and beauty brand, if you're working with a beverage brand, a specific masculine outdoor clothing brand, right? There's so many different personas that you have to play to, and you have to understand the pain points and challenges for each of them and be able to come up with a marketing strategy that is specific for that brand. And so normally when people get into e-commerce, they say e-commerce is my niche, but they don't pick a niche inside of the niche, right? So like, say you were able to just service beverage brands or just service clothing brands, something along those lines, athleisure brands, right? You could dial in that persona and get to the result and build the marketing a strategy for someone like that way faster than if you were just to do any e-commerce brand to come through the door, right? So with that being said, it makes sense probably why he struggled right off the rip. E-commerce is a tough nut to crack. So
Same time, I was also, it was my freshman year of college. So I was trying to still get that part of the college experience while doing an agency, and it's just no matter what we did, nothing seemed to take off. But eventually, after struggling with e-com for a while, Thomas Gauntlet's cold calling video came up, and I learned more about high level and all the lead gen stuff, and we learned that doing SMMA for local businesses could actually work. And then almost immediately after watching those videos, we got to work. I was doing 100 cold calls a day from my dorm.
let's go. That's what it takes.
Call people in whatever niche that I thought was good at the time. I would do 100 a day, and then when I was on break, I would do 300 or 400 a day. But I was so bad at cold calling. I was like, I'm not confident over
The only
the
way you
phone.
get good at cold
It
calling
was just so
is
bad
by
that I
cold
didn't
calling.
get any results from it. I got a trial client here and there, but no real money actually came of that. And that lasted for a while, honestly. Like, Ema and all these people make it seem like it's gonna be super easy, super quick, and it wasn't. Like, I was putting in the work, and nothing was coming out of it. There was no like direction into like what I was doing. However, at this point, it was like May or June, and we'd been trying lead gen for months now, and we'd done tens or even hundreds of thousands of outreach through SMS and DMs and cold calling, and nothing was still working, and we couldn't land a paying client. And then on top of all that shit not working, I'd gotten into an accident, so I didn't have a car anymore. And then my skateboard got stolen, so
This is
I
a
could
sad
walk
story,
everywhere.
bro.
And
I'm
then my
getting
laptop
depressed.
broke, so like my screen still doesn't work. It's just plugged into a monitor. I went to zero on my personal fucking bank account, almost negative in the agency account. Like, high level, we almost had to like refund because we couldn't pay for the month. And then on top of all that, I decided to drop out of college. So I had to leave all my friends behind that I had chosen to work on the agency, spend time with them throughout a year, and nothing even came of it. Like, I went through the whole process and I was only left with like a few shitty trial clients, and I got that instead of like actually having
he's pulling that emotion, dude.
Friends and like
He's pulling it.
really cool girl, shout out. Definitely gonna bleep that out. Anyways, after that in July, we had finally started to get some traction. After I had a one-on-one call with Joel Kaplan, he told me,
Kaplan,
one,
the GOAT.
my niche sucks, and two, my outreach can change. So I made the tweaks that he suggested.
Uplifting
and
music,
from
the
0
savior.
to 5K a month overnight, essentially. in July, it was like our first time having any actual money. After that 5K in August, we focused more on learning delivery. We spent that money trying to get the best results as possible for our clients, and we only collected $2,700. But after August, guys, like it finally fucking happened.
Let's go,
we passed
dude.
10K, and by a decent amount. We actually ended up at 13.1K for this month, so
Giddy up.
a little bit of a bag there. And honestly, like this stupid fucking Stripe screenshot right here is like making the whole
Agency
thing
lab.
worth it. But it also feels kind of weird because you realize that it's just the beginning, and like you're never going to be satisfied with the number. Like no matter how important it seems at any point, you still just got to put the work in the next day.
That's true.
But it was life-changing. Like I got to replace my car. I'm fixing my laptop now. I'm going to an entrepreneur event in Miami, and
Dude.
it's still really, really nice to have. But other than all the physical stuff, it gave me like so much confidence and like knowledge that I knew that I could do something that was really valuable. And you can hear it when I talk now. Like if you go back to my first video, like I didn't have like essentially the same assertiveness, even though I am still relaxed, but like the same assertiveness when I talk, and like my family and my friends and sales prospects can all hear that in my voice. And it's helped me so much with just internally. But other than that, like the biggest lesson that I can give you guys if you're thinking about getting into SMMA or drop shipping or any business model at all, find someone who's ahead of you and take any money you can get and just pay them. Because you giving someone a few $100s to speak to them for like an hour or like a couple calls over a month is going to save you the entire 6 to like 12 months of bullshit that I had to go through.
I know, man.
Instead of
Adam, we're
paying
going
people.
through it right
Because
now,
you guys
bro.
saw from like July to July, almost nothing happened. And then we started rolling all our money into like paying for advice, and then we're just going to pop off. So
Let's go, dude.
that's my biggest takeaway from this year. DM me if you guys want any help. DM me if you want like help finding a mentor or something to pay. And see ya.
Let's go, dude. Came out on top. Let's go. Man's goated. All right, Levi. Respect. All right. So just a little story there. That dude had a good little storyline there. Not too shabby. Gave him a little full watch time. All right, Levi. You get the pass on the Guru Gauntlet today. Good little video, man. Good luck on the SMA journey. You're crushing, bro. 1 year as a teenager, making $13K a month. Sheesh. Keep getting mentorship, dude. Joel Capital will take care of you. All right, let's jump in. Levi, day in the life. Let's see it. Oh, it's muted. Hold on. Skirt. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right.
Hello. What's up? So this is my first YouTube video.
Oh, he's a UK boy. Let's go.
Of an agency owner. This is a new place I just moved into. There's a lot to be done. So this is the bathroom.
Lord.
We'll forget about that. Anyway, we'll go into
Wi-Fi,
the bedroom
Levi.
here. This is where I probably spend hardly any time, just when I'm sleeping for a few hours a night. There's still a lot to be done. I just moved in here, but this is the kitchen. Nothing special. Get a bit of food and some coffee, basically. But apart from that, this is where the magic happens at the desk. This is where everything is built. This is where
I've seen a lot of people that do fans
sure,
on the desk. I don't get it, man. I think
if you don't know me, guys, by the way, my name's
die
Tom.
with the
I'm
fan
founder
blowing in my
here
face
at
all day.
The Social Elevator, a marketing agency, e-commerce.
Oh, another e-com owner.
We help, just to give you some context, clothing brands and sneaker brands basically scale to 7-8 figures.
Okay, there we go. See,
we take care
specific
of
vertical.
So firstly on
Sneaker,
today's agenda,
clothing.
we've got a check-in call with a client at about 11 a.m. It's 9 a.m. now, so I've got a couple hours first to get some work done. And then I want to check a new client's clothing brand collection launch, make sure the campaigns have gone smoothly. And then a sneaker brand we just started working with about 30 days ago. I want to check in with them and see how we've done in the first 30 days, how much growth we've produced. And then I want to go get some lunch. I'm not exactly sure where we're going to go yet, but...
Drop in the chat, what's he eating for lunch? What do they eat in the UK? Fish and chips? Is that the thing? Is that what they do over there? What do you think he's going to eat for lunch? You got to drop it in the chat. Let me know. Gotta make a guess. I'm guessing fish and chips. I feel like that's a very UK, or like a potato. Like they just eat potatoes over there, just raw. You like, had him chicken curry. Felix tea. Can we have some tea?
Grab some lunch, probably a coffee as well. Love my caffeine. And then we'll go for a walk probably. And then later today, I'm going into London, one of my favourite spots, and want to surprise one of my mates. So stick around to the end.
All my mates.
Should be good. As I mentioned,
I fucking love
we've
people
been
from
with
the
this
UK,
new
bro. They're the
brand
best.
for about 30 days now. I think it's just hit 30 days or 29 days. So just had a message from one of my team, and they just gave me an update. It's gone really well the first 30 days, which is obviously amazing. The client's really happy. So I went in just on the ad account and wanted to check it for myself. So just to give you some context, before we started working with them, they were doing about 100k pounds, so probably about $140,000 per month. But they had so much more potential and they really wanted to scale up. So they were spending about 30 grand to make that 100 grand. So not bad, but we've came in and really taken them to the next level. So we can see here we've spent about
social elevator does,
£45,000
baby.
in
Let's
the
go.
first 30 days. And instead of making 100 grand, we have made them £251,000 in the first 30 days working with us. So gone from 100k a month to
Okay,
250k a month.
Okay, I
in
see
just
the
30 days.
results.
So
Gotta
looking
turn that
forward
into a
to
case study.
Getting them to that million a month mark is their goal. One of our clothing brands we're working with is just launched a new collection, like an exclusive pre-order new designs collection. And we've only been working with these guys for 2 weeks, but we've made some great progress. And one of my team, Abby, one of our ad experts, let me know that the new campaign went live this morning. So just wanted to check in, make sure everything on the website looks good, make sure the campaign's running smoothly. And yeah, we're just gonna dive in and take a look. So this is their website. We can see the drop to pre-order. They've got some really nice designs here. Just from experience, working with clothing brands and obviously a lot of sneaker brands, but clothing brands in specific, these type of designs do really well. So
I will say, I feel like clothing's so hard, man. It's like, it's just hard to find that pain point and challenge when you're selling just like clothes. Like, there's probably specific ones that work well, but if like you're just like a design apparel brand launching, it's a tough market to get into, man.
very excited to see what we can do. And,
It's kind of like beverage.
take
Beverage
this
is tough
guy's,
too.
brand to the next level. Just going to jump into my first and only meeting today, which is a surprise, but sometimes it's a nice break. This is with Kieran, one of our clients. Just have a quick check-in, which we do. Everything's going really well for him, so we just want to check in and see how we can get things even better. All right, have a good one. Bye. Bye.
All right, here comes lunch. Okay, a little Mercedes. I guess it's pretty normal. Well, I guess maybe not in the
Just turned
UK.
up to the local park. It's a nice green field. It's nice to go for a walk, and I've got my headphones as well. So I'll be listening to a podcast or maybe one of the books I'm listening to on Audible. And it's
Wonder
good
what
just to
he's
get
listening
out,
to.
get some cardio, and have a think. You know, when
Think he
you run a
listens to
business,
Joe
you
Rogan?
want to think rather than be on social media all the time and have so many different things coming into your mind. It's good just to kind of take a break and half an hour walk. So yeah, let's do it.
Cinematic walk. Need community to do it. Peter, 100%, dude. Need community to scale clothing big for sure. Like you gotta have people. You gotta have a solid community to make it big.
This is obviously my first YouTube video I've made. Trying to get better at the content. So I appreciate you guys if you're watching. Subscribe if you want to watch more content.
All right,
if
bet.
that's
I'll
to do with
subscribe.
just
F it.
entrepreneurship in general, or if that's e-commerce related. Also, if you do own an e-commerce store or you want to get into it, and there's specific problems you're looking to solve, if that's conversion rate, optimization on the
Okay,
website,
little pitch in
if that's
here.
getting more
Why
sales,
not?
if that's getting more traffic, anything to do with e-commerce, and there's a specific problem you want to solve, just drop me a comment on the different type of content you want to see, and I'll be sure to make some content about it, and hopefully I can help you guys. So yeah, appreciate it. Let me know.
Peter,
you want to see.
what's he eating for lunch? He's about to go to lunch. You gotta tell us what he thinks he's gonna eat. Felix said pea. Adam said chicken curry. I said
Cool.
fish and chips.
So now we just got back
Fish
from
and
the walk.
chips.
Gonna go grab some food, and then we're gonna pick up Lewis again later, so we can go into London and hit my favourite spot. So yeah, let's go get some food.
Yarrow is always high. Always hitting the subway. All right, quick pause. I don't know if it's gonna show. What Subway sandwich does he get? Which one does he get? I think he's going. He looks like he's in halfway decent. Oh, you think he's? Yo, there's no way he gets a salad. There's no way he gets a salad from Subway. That is absurd. I think we're going split between turkey and chicken. I'm going with the Turkey Club. He looks like a Turkey Club guy to me. Felix, what do you think? What does he get from Subway? Steak and cheese. Honestly, not a bad bet. Not a bad bet. Turkey. I think turkey, Peter. I'm there with you. I don't think he gets a salad though. That would be crazy if he's just munching on a salad during a vlog. I'm gonna comment if he gets a salad and be like, "Why are you eating salad, bro? You're wasting calories." Chicken. All right. Felix is chicken. Adam's steak and cheese. Peter, turkey. I'm on the turkey train as well. I'm curious if he even shows it.
Cool. So now we got back from Subway, well-deserved meal. Now I just got, to be honest, this is very.
All right, I'm gonna comment. I'm gonna
part of
see
my
if
day.
he
It's just
replies
some
to me.
boring admin stuff I need to do, and then I need to get back to some of my emails because I've been so busy all day, and then I need to get back to some of the team on WhatsApp. Also, just make sure all the clients are doing well, and any questions they have, me or the team get back to them, and yeah, we'll see you on the other side.
Little walking desk. Classic internet marketing entrepreneur. Gotta have the walking standing desk. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Does anyone else have this? Because I try and do like standing work at my standing desk, and brother, I cannot do it, man. Like I struggle. Like I get all wiggly. I like sitting and working. I can't imagine trying to walk and work at the same time. Like, what do you do? I don't know. Maybe I should try it. Maybe it'll work. Maybe not. You guys have experience with that?
Now I've kind of wrapped them things up. I can be done with that. Just gonna go get changed before we head into London and pick up Lewis because it's
okay for when you're tired. Okay, that makes sense.
Make sure I look a bit better than this right now. So yeah, we'll get that done and I'll see you there.
Yeah, cinematic cut, B-roll.
Yes, G.
How we doing, brother?
How you doing, bro? Good.
Oh, he's already mic'd up, bro. They already did
Cameraman Spud.
this. You kind of start to notice those nuances.
To Wesley's hotel, but it's mainly a cigar lounge.
Ooh.
Favorite spot of mine in London. Good food and cigars, can't go wrong. So finish off a somewhat busy day.
My type of agency owner right here. A little cigar. In the night. Why not? He had some chips, bro. He's got some chips. Classic.
So that's a wrap, guys. This was the end of my day in the life, first YouTube video. I appreciate if you've stuck around this long. If you do own an e-commerce brand, obviously that's what we specialize in.
I'm gonna go subscribe to this guy real quick.
And you want to scale past 100K per month plus.
Little call to action.
There'll be a link in the description, just my personal calendar. So if you want to have a chat with me personally.
Honestly, he put realistic in parentheses here. Yeah, like this is realistically probably what an agency owner's life looks like. Just calls and yeah, talking to the team, and then a cigar at the end of the night. Like, yeah, that aligns. I've seen some of these where it's like people are like life of agency owner, and they're like jumping out of helicopters and stuff, and I'm like, what in the world? That's crazy. All right, hold on. Let's do this real quick. We got one subscribe to him. Give him a little like on the vid. What did you get from Subway? Gotta know. Gotta know. Let me know, Tom. Subscribed. I'm your 16th subscriber. Let me know. What did you get from Subway? All right, let's jump back into agency therapy. I like Tom. What a good dude. I liked our gurus today. What do you guys think? Pass on the gurus today? Give me a Levi or what was this dude's name again? Tom. Levi or Tom in the chat. Who was your favorite guru today? Let me know. I like Tom. Tom seemed to have his stuff together. I like Levi though. Felix. Not gonna follow him, but they were good. I like subscribing to people's channels, bro. Like it's hard. YouTube's hard, man. All right, let's jump back into the stream board. That is our guru segment. Guys, I just pick random videos. I don't even watch them. Like it's always a surprise. I try to pick ones that are relatively short because I know everyone's attention span is relatively low. So, but I pick ones that like kind of look interesting. And then we just watch them. So people have been passing the Guru Gauntlet lately. I've kind of liked the videos that we've been watching. So I make it next week. We need to, if you guys wouldn't mind, send me if you see some guru videos that you want me to do through the Guru Gauntlet, send them to me. I'll review them. And then I'll give you a little shout out if you sent it in. So send me some videos if you see some ones that you want me to review. All right, crew, that is it for the Guru Gauntlet. Thanks for watching that segment. Next up, we got Agency Alchemy. And if you guys were here last week, we spoke specifically on the crucial client journey in the continuation of that training last week, which talks about sizing your SMMA. This is a masterclass that I'm doing on YouTube. So if you want like a little bit more official look at this versus just doing Agency Alchemy, these are releasing in a series on the YouTube channel. So this one today is specifically on organizational structure. And I'm really excited for this one. It is a pretty quick training, which will be perfect because we'll end here in a few minutes, and then of course we have a little Q&A if you guys want to jump into some Q&A as well. Think of your questions, that way I'm not like sitting oddly at the end when I ask for questions. Okay. So organizational structure, guys, some rules to building organizational structure within your agency. Okay, couple things. First one is, guys, your agency is already functioning, and we're not looking to essentially tear down the infrastructure of the agency and rebuild. We're looking to build on existing frameworks. So when you guys go and apply what I'm going to show you today, do not tear down what you're already working on. Chances are you have some good systems, but chances are they're not documented and they're not in frameworks currently. Okay. If you're a solo founder, you're just kind of getting started. The most important pieces of this organizational structure that you're going to focus on are going to be 1, your positioning, 2, your ability to attract clients, and 3, the ability to deliver great results. If you do not lock those in the beginning stages of your agency, you are going to struggle 100%. So positioning, attract clients, deliver great results. Those are the only things you really need to be focusing on during this stage. You don't need to be working on your hiring systems. You don't need to be working on, financial modeling. You need to work on your positioning, attracting clients, and delivering great results. Okay. Now, if you have a team, make sure that you use them. Okay. If you're a solo founder, I get it. You're going to have to do a lot of this grunt work. But if you have a team, you have to use them because we do not want you necessarily doing all of the SOP work. You have talented teammates. You hired these people for a reason. You can utilize them to help you create some of the systems inside of your organizational structure. And then lastly, reflect back on last week's training. Okay. It is up in a shorter format. So if you don't want to scroll through last week's Agency Therapy Live, it is up on the channel. It should be the second to last video. We did a daily ops boost. We're back video this past week, or this week. I think it dropped this morning actually. And then last week we released the first episode of the systemization masterclass. So go back and watch that one because your crucial client journey flows directly into organizational structure. So they do combine together, and it won't make a whole lot of sense if you don't do that first and then come back to this one. Okay. So just a couple rules there before we jump into the actual training. Let me see if there's any comments real quick. Okay. Nope. We're good. All right. guys, this is the organizational structure framework. It's really basic. Okay. We don't need fancy things to build a good agency. Okay. And there's really only three parts of this organizational structure framework. There's lanes, there's responsibilities, and there's team. Okay. Now, lanes talks specifically about the major functions inside of your business. Now, think lead generation, sales, fulfillment, HR, finance. Those are specific lanes in your agency. You might call them something different. Other major functions inside of your business. But from a high level, or at least from my point of view, that's what we call them, of like the major functions inside the agency: lead gen, sales, fulfillment, HR, finance. Easy way to break it down, makes it simple. Okay. The second thing on this framework is going to be the responsibilities. And at this stage, we are looking to break down the crucial client journey into granular key responsibilities. So once again, we built that crucial client journey in the last agency therapy. So if you need that, there is a full video breakdown on the YouTube channel. And then lastly is going to be team. Okay. This is who within your organization is going to take ownership of each lane of the business. This is going to be heads of departments. You will also want to know any key players in the department who hold knowledge for how your system works. Your heads of departments will be busy, so keep in mind that they're going to need some help, and so key players will be really important for this. So, team, that's what we're talking about. And then note, not every teammate needs to be listed here. So if you have a little bit larger organization, remember these are key people, key players on your team. These are not people that are kind of like just pushing the buttons, day-to-day laborers, things like that. Okay. Now, how the organizational structure is laid out is in these specific lanes. Now, I want to show you an example down here of how this would look filled out potentially. Okay. And this is the start of your systemization process. Okay? Now, on the lane side, okay, once we have those 5 lanes: lead, sales, fulfillment, HR, finance. If you have different names for them, or you want to call them something different, totally fine. Build it how you want. I like rule of 5 here for simplicity. Okay. And everything kind of flows into one another, as you can see here. So lead gen flows into sales, sales flows into fulfillment. Once your fulfillment starts to get capped, you got to hire people in HR. And then kind of at the cap, we have finance of like, hey, we got to pay our people. We got to pay taxes. We got to look at our P&L, QuickBooks, yada, yada. Okay. So lanes, that's how I like to flow it. Okay. Because it's order of operation, lead gen all the way through. Okay. Then from there, we have our responsibilities. Now, let's zoom in on, say, like our fulfillment lane as an example here. Okay. Our responsibilities under fulfillment, well, we got to onboard new clients. That's the start of our fulfillment. We have to actually run whatever the service is. And for the example here, I wrote meta ads. Okay. We got to do probably some reporting. We have to do resigns. There are probably some cross sells if you have multiple services within your agency. And then we have offboarding as well. Okay. Now, this is 6. I'm sure you could think of much more responsibilities inside of your fulfillment lane. Okay. But that's your job. Okay. And if you need to do multiple of these and extend it down or whatever, you can go ahead and do that and add as many as you want to this. But think minimum viable for your first go at this. You don't need to do every nook and cranny of your agency, because one, it's going to take a lot of time, and we're just looking to stand up the most minimum viable system so you can get out of the day-to-day fulfillment of your agency. Now, we look at some of these other lanes as well, like lead gen. Hey, running Facebook ads to get leads, running LinkedIn outbound to get leads, referrals to get leads. Okay, there's chances are that those responsibility systems built around them. Same thing with sales, discovery calls, closing calls, audits, follow-ups, contracting, invoicing. Okay, all of that stuff needs to be taken care of. On the HR side, hiring, team meetings, one-on-ones, PIPs or performance improvement plans, firing. Okay, you need systems for all of those. And then finance, hey, how you running payroll? How you doing tax strategy? Stuff like that. Okay, so these are the systems that we start to build within the agency, and this is what we consider the minimum viable standard of standing up any type of service business. And then from there, on the team column, I just put a couple names in here. I put Billy, Wilma, and Hank. Those aren't real people, but those are going to be my key players or department heads out of my agency. You're just going to note those there. Okay? Give me a little yes in the chat if that makes sense so far. Is this kind of like the traction book structure stuff? This actually isn't from traction. This is more systemology by Greg Jennings. I think is his name. So systemology. So this is specifically systemization. Traction does have some frameworks, but this isn't like EOS model at all, Peter. So, okay. So jumping back in. Okay, cool. Jumping back into it. So lanes, responsibilities, team. Once you have this all filled out, then we can move into the next part of systemization. Okay, it's going to be our SOP assignment sheet. Now, our SOP assignment sheet is going to look kind of similar as far as what is written on it as the organizational structural framework, but we're going to add a little bit more detail about the responsibilities. Okay. Now, on the SOP assignment sheet, we have our lane. Okay. Lane, once again, major function that the SOP will live under. Okay. From there, we have our actual SOP itself. So the category of responsibility that is pulled from your crucial client journey. Description. Okay. Description of the SOP that needs to be written for a specific responsibility. And then key player, who will be assigned to create that SOP. Okay. And then when we fill this out, and I only did this for one lane, which is the fulfillment lane. Okay. Fulfillment. And the specific SOP that we're going to be working on is onboarding. And chances are you're going to have multiple steps in your onboarding process. So this is a great place to, like, maybe you have a SOP assignment sheet just for your onboarding process. Right. And so think of it in your order of operations, like do your best to fill in the gaps there. And sometimes it's best to like record yourself on a Loom video, kind of walking through, and then taking the transcript from that, seeing how it breaks down. But let's look at the onboarding process, kind of like step by step here. I did 4. This would be probably a horrible onboarding process, but I wanted to give you guys some like real life example inside of this assignment sheet. So the first one here is going to be the onboarding SOP. Okay, so description on this first one: how to pass a new closed client to the fulfillment team. So if you close a client, you get the contract signed, you get the first month's invoice paid. After that happens, how do we pass that to the fulfillment team? Does that happen through email? Do we have some automations that trigger in the background when someone signs a new contract with us? That's a really good way of doing it, by the way. Just takes a little bit of knowledge inside of Zapier. But how does that new closed client, as soon as we say, hey, we're ready to go, like let's roll, they're paid, they're signed up, ready to rock, how do we pass that to the fulfillment team so they can take it off of our hands and start the onboarding process? From there, maybe it's sending the kickoff email to that new client. So, hey, maybe there's a form that they need to fill out. There's an intake form along with it, and you want to get all the information that you need to run a successful service with them. Okay, so what does that look like? Do we send them an email? Do we? I don't know. I don't know really how else you would do that. But email the new client with what the kickoff information actually is, and then where to store those client assets when they're submitted back to us. Okay, so they send everything from their brand book to logos. Maybe you're doing creative with them, so you need specific assets back from them. Where do you store that when it's submitted? Does it go in the project management software? Do you guys put it into Google Drive? Does Google Drive need to get linked somewhere? What does that look like? And then from there, hey, running the client's kickoff call. Well, do we have a specific framework for running a kickoff call? Do we need to get certain information from there? Do we need to prepare before we even get on the kickoff call, or do we just jump on and kind of run it off the cuff? Probably not that one, right? So what is that system going to look like? And here's the thing: is Hank's going to take care of all this for us, because Hank is what I would consider one of the smartest people inside of our company. And Hank is going to be able to run and do all these systems, because guess what? He's already doing it. And if you remember from the beginning of this training, I mentioned, hey, we're not looking to tear down, this whole thing and then rebuild all of it. We're looking to see what is currently working and what you guys are currently doing, and then be able to actually document it. Okay. And so once we start to build out this SOP assignment sheet, then we can start to grasp all of the SOPs and all of the minimum viable systems that are needed in order to start building out something called our team wiki or team Wikipedia, where we can start storing all of this. And this is going to help you train up your team. This is going to help you set a standard inside of your company of how things should be done. Now, I'm not going to cover SOP creation today. We will do that in the next live stream. So make sure you guys if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can come and get the next part of the lesson as well. And make sure that you guys are setting up your SOPs in the best way possible. But this is homework, guys. This is not something that you should just watch and look at and be like, we're good. Like, we're set here. Like, this makes sense. And then just don't take action on it. if you guys want to have this be the most effective thing possible, go take action on it. Go deploy it. Okay. I have templates here for you guys for free. Okay. Here, let me drop them to you in the chat real fast. Let me drop them to you. Copy link address. Okay. That way you guys have them. You can start actually taking action on this, systemizing your business, get yourself pulled out of fulfillment, and stop running the agency rat race, because the agency rat race is not very fun. Okay. Felix, I'm trying to figure out how to do the new Miro board without people fucking it up, to be honest. So like people mess it up almost every week now. And I had to take everything off in order to make it to where people will stop messing it up. So I'm trying to rebuild it in a way that gives you guys all the information, all the templates that you need, but without the access to like move things. So I'm working on it. But here's the link to the templates for you guys. Go ahead and go grab those before you leave. It's not edit mode only, ? Or view mode. Yeah, it is in view mode. But do I like every once in a while, like I'll forget to like click something back in view mode only, because like I have to make edits to it. And if you give people access to the board, they automatically get access, I think, to it. And maybe I can change the settings on it. Anyone can view. Okay, so I could just put it as anyone can view, apparently. Okay, so anyone can view. So I'm going to do some restructuring, Felix, of the Miro board before I just send it out. That way you guys have everything kind of organized. So I'll put some work into it and make sure that you guys have the Miro board. But in the meantime, I dropped the templates in the chat for you guys so you can get access to those. And that wraps up our Agency Alchemy segment. I'm happy to answer any questions on that. I think it's relatively simple and straightforward, but drop them in the chat if you do have questions. We can also answer questions about really anything agency related if you want to. We could talk lead generation. We could talk about sales. We could talk about fulfillment processes, HR, finance, whatever you guys want to jam on. I'm more than happy to answer some questions over the last few minutes here of agency therapy. I appreciate your guys' time and attention today, by the way. It was a fun segment for us today. You're welcome, Felix. Anytime, brother. Anytime. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you always coming back, man. But let's jam for a minute. What questions do we have? Are we running perfect agencies? How you see in 2024? What do e-com agencies need to pay attention to? That's a good question. I mean, it's getting more and more competitive. I will say that the agency space is becoming a very competitive landscape because there's so many people coming into the marketplace, and a lot of people are doing a bad job. So it's more important than ever to make sure that you guys are delivering great results for your clients. And I kind of have this thought pattern or methodology or ethos around like, we will not scale if we do not deliver. It's a good practice to have. If your team can't deliver yet, if they can't deliver at a high level, then chances are we shouldn't be scaling, right? We got to figure out those results first because one, your reputation depends on it, but at the same time, you need at-bats, right? So like you can't get better, your team can't get better without at-bats. So you need to be able to balance those things out and understand that the landscape is competitive and your ability to deliver results matter more now than ever because of how competitive it is. Like there's so many people flooding the market, especially in e-commerce as well. There's so many products. There's so many people getting into e-commerce as well. It's a continuing growing market, which is great, but also it's making it more difficult to market to because it's becoming so saturated and direct response is becoming so saturated in our space. And it's always in our face because we spend so much time on TikTok and Instagram and people are just constantly scrolling. And so people are becoming numb to some of these advertisements. So we're having to get more creative on that side. What I will say is we're starting to see more affiliate and influencer campaigns, hence why we kind of covered some of that affiliate influencer with Caitlin Clark today. But I will say a lot of our influencer affiliate agencies are really crushing it in this year so far. A lot of people seem to need that attention or want that attention from people that are like kind of micro influencer level. We have a few agencies that are doing very well in that department as of recent. The other thing I would be wary of, as always, is just kind of the emergence of AI. I think I think there are some things that could be affected by AI. I recently saw someone developing an app for CRO. So, Peter, if you're listening, like literally something, an AI that will split, test, and change landing pages, websites, and give a specific user experience based off of buying experiences, buying habits from that individual. So basically, it is a dynamic landing page or website that will change based off of previous buying experiences live, which is insane. So, like, you click, and based off of how you've purchased in the past, it will lay out the most viable buying path for you. Kind of crazy. So, the emergence of AI is going pretty nuts right now, but at the same time, like, it's definitely not going to like take over agencies anytime soon. I think it's going to be a great tool for agencies. If anything, it's going to allow you to run a more profitable agency as well. So I would just be paying attention to a lot of the AI trends. Do not fall behind in that category. If you fall behind, it will be very difficult for you to catch up. So pay attention there as well. Felix, you mentioned in 2020, is 2024 the year of personal brand? Seeing more posts and short form videos on IG, LinkedIn, and X. Yeah, like personally, like, yes, I'm pushing my personal brand as far as possible this year. I know a lot of people are also leaning into it. Personal brand is something that is, it will extend beyond anything that you ever do inside of business, and it will be carried on with you into whatever you do later in life, right? Like, look at Alex Hormozy. Pretty much no matter what he touches now, will have a strategic advantage. So building personal brand, yeah, really important. But also, we can't neglect the business brand side of things. At a certain point, it will be very, very difficult for Hormozy to exit a business like this if it's so tied to him and the success is dependent on him. Now, I think he's put good people in place to where none of his businesses are dependent on him for like deal flow, and hence why like he wrote books like $100 million leads, and those frameworks inside of there. It's like he's got so many different lead gen methods when it comes to like his service based businesses that it doesn't necessarily rely on him. If anything, he's kind of the accelerant to the ability to grow fast. So yeah, personal brand will be very important, for really anybody in this marketplace right now. So we're leaning into it this year. Obviously, I pushed to all of our Hydra stuff, and what we're doing at Hydra. We got some really cool stuff on the horizon for our consultancy. It's been a really fun past year building and growing it. We've grown tremendously in the past year. Very grateful for it. We're stabilizing currently. We're not. We haven't pushed super hard on sales because we signed a lot of clients in the back half of last year, and so we're kind of stabilizing our own business right now, and getting ready to ramp up for Feb. So Feb is looking like it's going to be a very fruitful month. Felix said social score, 100%. Yeah, exactly. What other questions do we have? What do you guys got? Got a couple more minutes here. Drop them in the chat. If not, we can wrap it today. Let me know if you guys enjoy this format. Peter, I know relatively new to this format. Felix, you've seen this format maybe a couple times now. I've been really enjoying doing content outside of something like so tactical. Like, I really enjoy like just doing like some of like the React side of things. I enjoy doing some of the more like news related things. It's really fun for me. So hopefully you guys are also enjoying that as well. Should almost everyone focus on having a service-based business and also a coaching/info product in order to maximize revenue? Sure. Yeah. Why not? Right. I think the easiest way to do this in the agency space, kill it with your service-based business first. I would say before you even really touch like the coaching/info product side, like you should be probably generating at least $1 million within the business. I like to focus on one thing and then get it to $1 million before I think about changing verticals, changing my offering, anything like that. Like, I got to prove out one offer to 7 figures a year, and then I will look at expanding. But we've seen a lot of people expand into the coaching info product side of things. It's one of those things where I think it's starting to get a little bit saturated. It's definitely tough. Like it's tough to build trust and rapport with people. That's why we've positioned so differently in the space from everybody else that owns a coaching slash consulting offer for agencies. Um, for us, like we even use different language, right? Like we're not a coaching program, we're a consulting firm. We don't have a coaching name where it's like, for example, and Joel Kaplan's a friend, and so I'm going to use him as an example. Is like Agency Lab, right? That's different than Hydra Consulting Group. Just different positioning. We're going after totally different markets, and so on that side, to like kind of make this like a more full circle answer, Felix. Yeah, like the coaching and info, it's like it's very profitable. It's probably more profitable than any agency model that is currently out there. But you need to be able to prove out a model if you're going to coach on it and if you're going to sell some sort of info product on it, right? Like personally, I don't think 10K a month or even 50K a month is good enough to say like, yeah, I've been able to do this at scale and now I can teach other people how to do it. Personal, you could have a different opinion on that, which is totally fine. But if you want to run it, run it. Like it's not something that I would be afraid of. AP, do you just measure revenue or also time in the service before offering a coaching program? If time, how long would it make sense to have the service before coaching? Yeah, well, I guess it kind of depends what the coaching is on, right? Like if you're teaching people how to get to 10K a month, and you've done 50K a month, okay, sure, why not? I've seen a lot of people do that. I'm fine with that. Um, how long would it make sense to have the service before coaching? Um, Honestly, I don't know, man. Like I was in the agency space for 3 years. We did multi seven figures in our agency, and then we went through an exit as well. I felt like I had the resume to come in and be able to say, "Hey, I can give the coaching, I can give the consulting. I've walked the walk, I've talked the talk, I've taken the entire business A to Z from startup, which I was the second employee at our agency. We were doing roughly 25, 30K a month when I came on board as a second employee of that business. And then we scaled it to multiple 7 figures a year and then exited it. Right. So I can say I've walked the A to Z walk, which is why a lot of people work with us, right? Is because I've done exactly what we're teaching other people to do. And so I like that as a minimum viable for kind of measuring the success, and not necessarily that you have to exit. Like I would have done a lot of things different on our exit if I had the opportunity to. But as far as like when should you jump into coaching? I don't know if there's ever really a good time, or if like the imposter syndrome really ever goes away once you jump in, like trying to tell people how to run their business. I don't know if there's necessarily a right answer for that, but I can tell you what I did and when I waited, and I kind of was on to the next thing, and I was like, this is the next best step for me, because we ran into consulting by accident, right? People would come to us and come to our office and our space and get coaching from us. Um, but we never like talked about it, right? Like we weren't like, hey, we're doing like coaching offers right now for how to like run an agency. People were watching what we did, following us on social media, and they're like, we want to build that. How do we do it? And then people would fly out to us or drive out to us, and they would pay us a couple $1,000s. I remember like Eddie Malouf's team was the first team to come and do this with us. They paid, I think, $5,000 for 2 half days with us, something like that. And they got to see our full studio space. We gave them our frameworks, how we were building, taught them everything from core values all the way down to the systems we were using for our creative process. And he came and absorbed everything. He brought all of his team with him. I think that at that time he had with him 5 people on his team. It was his wife and his two brothers, cousins. And yeah, they came out and learned from us. So, yo, what up, me lad? Good to see you, bro. So yeah, like on that side, man, like I don't know if there's ever a good time. Like I stumbled into it, right? People came and wanted to learn from us, and I would put together like these really elaborate like presentations and decks for like each day that they were out there, certain presentations for different points. I remember doing the one-page impact plan with them and doing all of that, right? So people would come out, they would mastermind with us, and like that's how I got into consulting. Like I just fell into it. It really wasn't like, oh, like yeah, like you should launch a coaching offer. Like there really wasn't a whole lot in the consulting space at that time. I feel like I started roughly around the same time as a lot of these other coaches that are now way larger than us, just because of like who we work with in the space. So yeah, that's pretty much it, Adam. Do you adapt your service offering based on economic conditions, or just hold steady on the path and wait for the correction to happen? Um, Good question. So yes, we adapt our service offering based on economic conditions and what we think is going to happen, right? So we're playing a little bit further ahead currently. Right now, we are positioning to move. Okay, we're not positioning to move outside of the agency space. We're going to always serve the agency space, but we're also looking to adapt a new model where we can serve other service-based businesses right now. And we're starting to shift some of our positioning into more broad verticals that will help people outside of the agency space scale their business. Now, what does that look like exactly? Well, immediately we're looking at more like service-based businesses, professional services, so CPA firms, financial firms, things like that, and implementing systems, infrastructure, lead generation into those types of businesses, because we're looking at things that would be recession-proof and would allow us to continue to get work outside of just the agency space. Because if you look at recessionary periods and how people tend to make cuts, normally some of the first things that get cut are going to be marketing budgets, right? Which is pretty counterintuitive. But truthfully, that's what happens. Marketing budgets get slashed, and then there's a trickle down effect of like if those get cut and agencies have less revenue coming in, less profit, then chances are they're going to start cutting expenses, and consulting is usually one of the first things to go. So hence why we're making our shifts and going through trying to emerge into more bulletproof markets that will, that are needed even in recessionary times. Adam rattling off all the questions. When hiring a coach, do you look? This is Corey, bro. I know Corey's typing these out over there. Don't even be lying to me. When hiring a coach, do you look to push strengths or raise deficits? Or does that completely depend on where you are at in your growth? When hiring a coach, do you look to push strengths or raise deficits? Oh, okay. So you're talking like hiring based off of experience versus potential, I think is what you're saying. I think it depends where you're currently at. In our consultancy up until this point, um, we've hired based off of potential, 100%. Why? Because we were a new business, and one, we had the bandwidth to train our team and to train them up the way that we wanted them. So I think when you first get started, you do hire based off of potential first, but we're starting to make that swing and that shift that we have to hire based off of experience and their ability to come in and plug in faster. So potential first, and that's what we've done up until this point, but we are making that switch into, hey, like we have to hire based off of strengths and making sure that that they can get plugged in faster and up to speed faster than before. So yes, it depends where you're at in growth. Apparently I didn't answer the question correctly. Sorry. No, more so, do you hire coaches to get better at a skill, or are you good at and just look to become a lead? No, no, no. We hire coaches for sure. Or do you hire coaches to help you with things you suck at? Oh, okay, got it, got it. I understand the questions now. Certain things yes, and certain things no. Yes, I'm like as a consultant and coaches on our team, we're constantly training, right? We're constantly trying to get better at specific things. But I will say, if you look at our consulting staff currently, which is our consulting staff is for myself, my partner, and then we have two consultants as well, which Adam, you're a consultant on our team, right? If you look at the skill sets of each of us, we all have very specific skill sets, so we can fill each other's deficits. And balance each other out, right? If we were all very similar minded and we could only fix specific problems within a business, chances are that we wouldn't get very far, right? So we need people to balance out our deficits, so we can lean on one another. That's what makes us very effective at what we do, is that we have depth of knowledge within our consulting team. And we can really hit any of those 5 lanes and hit them extremely well, from our ability to generate leads for our clients to our ability to convert sales for our clients and sales training, fulfillment, operational side of fulfillment, the HR and finance side. We have people that can plug holes in any part of the agency model, and it's a well-rounded effort. Like, for me, like, I'm very good at the systemization side. I'm very good at the project management, managing team side. That is my flavor, right? Like, that's what I love and that's what I enjoy about business. I'm not super uh uh I'm not super like crazy about like the lead generation side or the sales side. I've got some chops in it. But there are people on our team that are much better at that than me. Same thing goes with like hiring and finance. A lot of those pieces, there's people on our team that are way better than me at that, right? But it's like we have our specific lanes that we champion. So that is my answer. I don't know if that made any sense. Felix said, raise deficits. I think you hire a relationship coach when you're really bad at relationships. True. True. Are there many lead gen only agencies anymore handling just media buying and creative? Um, or most already handling almost everything, such as go high level platform? Yeah. So kind of gone are the days where it's like you could just run ads for and say like, hey, we're going to get you leads. I think the progression and what we've seen so far is we've seen the lead gen agency, okay, provide the leads. After that, it's lead gen agency provides the leads and setting the appointments for the specific prospect. I think where it goes next is actually closing the deals for the prospect. And we actually have seen this happen. Joel Kaplan has an offer right now that he's running where for agencies where it's like, hey, we are going to put your lead gen system in place. We're going to call your leads for you. We're going to book the appointment and we're going to close them. I think that is the pinnacle of what lead generation is going to right now, which is going to be we do the marketing, we book the lead, and we close it. And then they literally show up on your doorstep and pay you. That is going to be the progression into it. And we're starting to see those offers start to pop because at the beginning, leads just weren't enough. Like, hey, we guarantee you 25 leads this month. Okay. But like half of those wouldn't show up, or, they would cancel, or, they would only get one close from it. Okay. And that wasn't enough. Right. And so they started taking more control of the process and they started to book the appointments. Right. It's like, hey, we're going to book the appointments for you and they're just going to show up. You just have to close them. Well, then the problem was, well, damn, these guys suck at closing and they're not able to close the deals that we're bringing them. So the evolution continues. Now they're going to start closing deals. So that is what's going to happen inside the lead gen space. I can almost guarantee it. It's going to be all three. Any other questions? What else we got? Anything else? Cool. Guys, thank you so much for coming to Agency Therapy this week. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Come hang out. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I'd love to see you guys back. We do this live stream every single Wednesday. Okay. Every single Wednesday. Okay. So we'll be back next week. Come hang out. We got more content dropping on the channel. So if you like the more tactical side of things, follow along. Okay. You're going to get what you need to scale your agency. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace. Say bye, Tyler.